Hello, class 9 students. Greetings of the day. Today is our third lecture of chapter number 1, the Harappan Civilization. Today we are going to study about Harappan cities in brief, and then we are going to study about the town planning and its feature. In town planning and its feature, we will be studying uh, about the features because of which the Harappan civilization is called an urban civilization, unlike Vedic culture. Then we will be studying about the features of houses and the features of granaries and great bath in particular. So let us begin with the Harappan cities. Harappan cities, there are few very famous cities of Harappa, or you can say Indus Valley Civilization. The first city is Harappa city, which is situated near, or which was situated near River Ravi in Pakistan. It is in Montgomery district, or which is today's Sahiwal district of Pakistan, right? It was there. Then Mohenjo-daro meaning the mound of dead. It is situated in Larkana district of Sindh province of Pakistan. Mohenjo-daro is famous for its great bath. Harappa is famous for its two rows of six granaries each. Then Chanhu Daro is the name of the third site, which is in Nawab Shah, Sindh. Then Lothal is famous for its stockyard. It is in India, in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, right near the Gulf of Cambay. Then Kalibangan or Black Bengal, its literal meaning is Black Bengal. It is in Hanumangarh, Rajasthan, right? And then Banavali is in Fatehabad, Haryana, right? Then after that, Sutka Gandor is the westernmost site of Indus Valley Civilization extension. It is in Gwadar province of Baluchistan. Then Gwadar district of Baluchistan. Then we are having Surkotada is in Kutch district of Gujarat, India. Then Rangpur is in Kathiawar district of Gujarat. So this was all about the Harappan cities. Although the extension of this Indus Valley civilization has been removed from the syllabus uh, for this year, but again let me tell you the extension of Harappan civilization. So Harappan civilization extended from Manda in the north, which is in today's Jammu, right? And then Daimabad in Maharashtra. In the south. It was the northernmost side, it was the southernmost side, and then uh, here, right here, Sutka Gandor, which is near to Afghanistan or in Baluchistan, right? It was the westernmost province, and here Alamgirpur, which is in UP, Meerut, Alamgirpur, Meerut, near Hindon River, right? Hindon River in Meerut, right? This was the easternmost site of Indus Valley civilization cities. So you can say the cities were all spread from Jammu to Maharashtra and from here Afghanistan to UP, right? All cities were located within this you can say area, right? Now after that we are going to study about the urban planning. urban planning see the cities in Indus Valley Civilization cities were planned. Okay, these were not created just like that only. These were well planned. So we are going to study how these cities were planned and why this civilization is called urban civilization. So urban planning, right? Features of urban planning. Uh, here, okay. So various cities in various civilization, like you can say in Sumeria, they flourished near the temples. The temple was the center point of all the cities. All cities were located near the temples. But here in Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization, cities were in grid system. They followed grid system, right? Uh, what were the features? Each city was divided into two parts. Each city was divided into two parts. First part, you can say it was citadel, which is raised area or platform, and second was the lower town. So it was somewhat like this, you can say. It was a lower town, and then here it was the citadel, right? On the citadel, various monuments or buildings were made, right? These buildings, maybe great granaries, or you can say great bath, right? All these things were made here. It was separated by a wall, right, from the lower town. In lower town, houses of people were made here like this, right? So you can say that the Harappan cities were divided into two parts. One was the raised area, right, which was called citadel, and one was another was a lower town. These houses at the lower town were also built on mounds, right, or raised platform, right? Why? To prevent floods, right? Because it was these cities were near River Ravi or Indus, River Indus, okay, right? So in order to prevent from floods, these cities in lower towns were also built on raised areas or platforms or mounds, okay. This platform was of mud brick, right? And these houses were residential, and these houses like great granaries or great baths, these were the public buildings which were used by all people, right? And here some ruling class must have lived, okay. Although it was being ruled by a class of merchants, okay, so all the wealthy people or elite class must be living at the citadel area, right? Then after that the main streets followed a grid pattern running from north to south or from east to west. Now the cities were cutting each other and making grid pattern. Grid pattern how? Like suppose it was main city, sorry, main street or main road. So different roads were cutting this at 90-degree angle like this. Say suppose it is another road. So means you can say the main road was cutting or was the streets used to cut the main road at 90-degree angle like this, right? Like this. This was 90-degree angle, right? So means a network of streets, lanes and roads was there. Then the houses at the streets corners were rounded to allow car to pass easily. Now the houses those were built here on this corner, these were rounded like this. This were rounded like this, right? Why? Suppose a cart is moving here. If a cart is moving here, okay, so it may move easily, right? So the houses near or houses at the corner of the streets were rounded for the easy movement of the carts. Then the house drains emptied always into the street drains. Now the houses were having their drains and the drains were meeting with the main drains. Drain means a pipeline from where the sewage water or sewage is emptied, right? Like the pipes from our bathroom or toilet, okay, which with meet with the drains at the roads, okay. So that type of system was there. Suppose it was a house, right? And this house was, drain. The water was going into the. Suppose this is main drain here, right? So the drain of this house was joined with the main drain, right? Means they were having proper drainage system, you can say. So first was citadel town, second is uh, grid pattern was there, grid pattern of roads or streets. Third, drainage system, efficient drainage system, you can say. The drains of the house were joined with the main drains of the road on the road, and the street crossed the main road at right angles, dividing the city into square or rectangular blocks that I have already explained you. So this was the features which only urban cities have. Okay, if you look around, you will see that in big cities or metropolitan cities we are having sewage lines, or which we sometime mispronounce as sewer lines, okay, that is sewage lines, right? Or sewer line, right? Now in those lines, with those lines, the sewer lines of our houses or drains of our houses are connected, okay, so that makes the drainage system very efficient. So that type of drainage system existed in Indus Valley Civilization cities 2600 years before Jesus Christ's birth, or you can say around 4600 years before from now, right? So that was there. And then after that we are going to study about the houses, how the houses were there during Indus Valley Civilization. So this is the one of the most important feature of the urban features of Indus Valley Civilization, that their houses were built in a proper manner, right? The residential buildings were built according to a set plan on a high mound in order to protect from floods, right? I have already told you the residential buildings, suppose this is ground, so residential buildings were built on high mounds like this, mounds were there, and residential houses were built here like this. Why? Because near it river Ravi was flowing, okay, or river Indus was flowing. So if water comes out from this river during floods, right, so this entire area will get flooded. So to prevent this area from flood, these houses were built on a raised platform. Even at the lower towns, the living areas or living houses were built on higher platforms. Then So we can say that the first feature of the houses were that they were built on higher platforms. These platforms were made by bricks. Then there were variations in size of houses from single room tenements means you can say flat, right, to bigger houses with courtyards up to 12 rooms, private wells and toilets. Each house had covered drains connected with street lines. Okay, now these houses, okay, it was not like it was they were, you can say, in one house there may be only one room, okay, or they were having several rooms up to 12 rooms, right, and they were also having kitchen area in one, sheltered kitchen area, right, at one place here like this, right, and they were having their own wells also, right, and these houses were multi-storied too. Clear? So there were variations in the sizes of houses from single room tenements to bigger houses with courtyards up to 12 rooms, private wells and toilets. Each house had covered drains connected with the street drains. The entrance of the house were from the narrow lane which cut the streets at right angles. Now, suppose it was the main road, okay, and here some house is there. Clear? So the entrance was not from here. It was not from here. The entrance was from back side or from the, suppose it is a narrow lane going here. Okay, this is a road and this is lane. Okay, so the houses were from the narrow lanes from the back side. Okay, so towards the main road, the back side of the houses were there, and towards the lanes, the front side of the house, the front of the house was there. Main door was towards the lanes, not towards the main street. It is lane, you can say. It is main street, you can say. Right? Then they were having kitchens also, and kitchen were sheltered. They were placed at the corner, right? And they were having houses, like suppose it was their house like this, right? So on one corner they were having kitchen, downside or ground floor they were having storerooms, and the rooms where well was there, and then on first story, second story they were having the houses. Means during Indus Valley Civilization, multi-storied houses existed. Okay, so like this, their houses were there, and then these houses were made by burnt brick. Okay, the burnt brick which we have today, which is called pakki eat, right? Kachi eat and pakki eat, two types of bricks are there. So their houses were made by kiln burnt bricks, which is also called pakki eat, right? And then the houses were made up of bricks and wood. Each house had doors, windows, and ventilators. Doors and windows opened on the side of the streets and not on the main road. So this was all about the houses. So we have discussed today about the various features of urban planning of Indus Valley Civilization cities and houses. Now we are going to study about some features of monumental buildings. The monumental buildings which we have, one building we have already studied, right? That building was Great Bath. Second building we will study, that is the Great Granary. So first was Great Bath. Great Bath, it has been found at Mohenjo-daro. right? It was a large tank, right, connected with stairs. With stairs from north and south. Sorry, just one moment. It was a pool or a tank, you can say like this. In the north, there were stairs. These are stairs, just okay, like this. You can say, right. My drawing is very bad. Sorry for that, but you can understand. In the north and south, stairs were there, and in the sides, corridor was there, and rooms were built. Right, these were changing rooms, you can say. And also contain well for supplying water to this uh, great bath. Okay, these rooms were used for changing room, for changing clothes, or for some priestly class also. This great bath was used for some religious rituals or some kind of holy bath, right? And that was all, right? It was very big structure, massive structure. It was used by public. That is why it is also called public building or monumental building of Mohenjo-daro. Second, we will study about the great granary. Now, a row, two rows, two rows of six granaries each have been found at Harappa, right? Like this. One granary, two, three, four, five, and six. Like this. One, two, three, four, five, and six. So one row of six granaries this side, one row of six granaries this side, right? These granaries were used to store food grains by public. Okay, means all people must used to deposit their grains there, right, in the these granaries. And there were also circular platforms. These types of circular platforms or rows of circular platforms were also there. On these platforms, they used to thrash their barley and wheat. Okay, and after that, they used to take out the seeds. Okay, and used to store in these granaries. How we can say that these were used for thrashing? Because in the crevices or the faults or crevices of these, you can say, platforms, we have found barley and wheat seeds, right? So that is why we conclude that these were working area. This was working area where the wheat and barley were threshed. Okay, and as these were near the river Ravi flows near Harappa. Okay, so it means that these granaries or the grains were exported and imported, right, by boats using river Ravi. So this was all about the granary. I hope you would have understood everything. So let me just recall this chapter. What we have studied today, we have studied about various cities of Indus Valley Civilization. We have studied about Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Lothal, Kalibangan, Banavali, about Sutka-Gandor, Sutkotada, right? We have studied where these cities are located, like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Harappa is situated near Montgomery district of Pakistan, right? And Mohenjo-daro in Larkana district of Pakistan, right? And Lothal in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, Kalibangan in Rajasthan. These things we have studied. Then we have studied about the urban planning. In urban planning, we have studied how the city was based on a grid pattern or a network of roads or streets used to cut each other and used to make a network, right, which divided the entire city into the blocks or rectangular or square blocks, right? And we have also studied that they were having very efficient drainage system. Their drains were covered. Their drains from the houses were joined with the main drains, and we have also studied that their houses on the corner of the streets were rounded by uh, so that the carts may turn very easily, right? Otherwise, carts could have stuck there, right, because of the corners of the house. Then we have also studied that we have also studied about the houses. We have studied that houses, multi-storied houses existed during Indus Valley Civilization. Some houses were a single room flat, and some houses were having 12 rooms, and even their own private well and toilets, and the granaries downside. These well room and the granary storehouses were built on the ground floor, and the residential houses were made on the second floor or first floor, right? And then we have studied that the houses were made by burnt bricks. Burnt bricks means pakki eat. We have also studied that the main gate of the house were opened uh, towards the narrow lanes, not towards the main street. We have studied that there was proper windows, also ventilation systems were there. We have also studied that they were having their kitchens placed in a corner and the kitchens were sheltered. We have studied that. Okay, this was all about houses, and we have studied about the Great Bath, which was found at Mohenjo-daro. It was a place for holy bath where people used to take some kind of holy bath. It was a large tank which was having stairs in the north and south, and towards the corridor there were so many rooms for changing rooms or for some priest classes also, right? And then we have studied about granary. Great granary was found at Harappa. There were two rows of six granaries, right? These granaries were properly ventilated, right, from to prevent grains from becoming mildewed, right? These were ventilated. Mildewed means seal jana, right? Something like that. Okay. So we have studied that, and then after that we have studied uh, that there was a platform, okay, and circular platforms were there. Circular platforms, where these wheat and barleys were threshed, right? And then after that, grains were stored in these granaries. So we have studied about various features of these all things. I hope you would have understood everything. Thank you so much.